Hello, Gemini friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Gemini February 2024 Astrology Horoscope forecast. This is for you if Gemini is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Gemini placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Gemini friend, so birthdays around June 15th through the rest of the sign, or 23-degree Gemini placements or later, I suggest you additionally listen to my Cancer reports, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Calling the theme of this month for Gemini, rare stars bring miracle breakthroughs for Gemini, and we'll talk about why, as well as other things to help you make the most of the starry possibilities this month. That is my intention for you. Podcast listeners, I've now posted the chart as the thumbnail, so even if you're not watching me actively make the chart come alive on YouTube, you can still have it for your reference there. If you're on YouTube and you're not interested in the chart, you can always just listen, scroll up in the screen and listen, or you can catch the podcast version. I'll be jumping back and forth between relevant things on the chart and my to-do list of things that I want to mention for Geminis. So we'll start right at the beginning here with me staying organized to talk about the last bits of Capricorn and what that means and why we want to make the most of this energy. Gemini energy, as you know better than anyone, can get distracted, right? Everybody can, but there's a special level of distraction that happens from the scatteredness of Gemini energies. January and now into early February, we've got a lot of excess Capricorn energy, which is not in your natural rhythm, but it can be super helpful for you to get grounded, to get your strategies together, to get your taxes done, to get your to-do list situated, to get just basically your systems intact to help you have better flow in your life. Venus, Mars, and Mercury will still be in Capricorn in the early part of February. Make the most of this energy because as these planets plus the others are in Aquarius, it's going to make amazing angles for you and be open to these, miracle breakthroughs, but those are fellow air energies, which are distracted and scattered and diffuse and, more in the mental realm. The Capricorn energy helps you ground things down to the physical realm, take them from the world of ideas into the world of practice. And so you really want to make the most of that energy because Aquarius will lead to Pisces, will lead to Aries, and none of those energies are super grounded or focused. Okay, so we've got a while coming of more distractions. So you want to make the most of this energy while you have it. Now for Geminis, this Cap energy lights up the 8th house. So you have extra focus on other people's money, getting debt paid off, getting balances transferred, borrowing money, spending money, getting loans, capital investments, inheritances. And this is also a realm of magic, esoteric and mystical, mysterious things. So you'll have, a lot of good energy towards any of those things at the beginning of the month. Estate planning, anything like that has extra oomph at the beginning of February. Okay, so the next thing, and this is going to lead into these rare stars and how they can affect Gemini in particular. We've got 6 Aquarian placements this month. This is very rare, including a new moon on February 9th at 20 degrees of Aquarius. So we've got Venus, Mars, Mercury, all transitioning from Cap into Aquarius. Pluto's already there. That's a long-term transit. The sun is there. We're going to ignore this one because that's very fast-moving. And so that plus the new moon means 6 placements in fellow air sign, which is part of where this storyline of miracle breakthroughs can come through. These are 6 ways that trines, the most favorable aspect in all of astrology, connect with your Gemini placement. And they can bring pure miracles. Add to that all of this is happening in the expanded mountaintop sage view of Sagittarius, and you really can start seeing things from a different perspective that can unlock possibilities that you never dreamed of before. You can travel far and wide, either from your armchair or in person. Everything is wide open to you, and this is a very broadening and horizon broad or expanding type of energy. And it's definitely the energy of miracles. It's the energy of faith. Faith is belief in that which we can't see. And this is a time where optimism can really reign supreme. If you've been moody or low or having trouble, this can be a time where some positive ideas and inspiration can come in. It's very exciting. It's very rare. And it can definitely unlock miracle breakthroughs. different countries, different languages, different cultures, writing, publishing, speaking. All of these things are Sagittarian related things and are all unlocked by the Aquarian movements through this placement specifically for Gemini. Now let's talk a little bit about Aquarius energy in general. It's wacky, weird, wild, wonderful, rare, unusual, erratic, can be unstable, can be fleeting, but whatever it is, we've got a ton of it. It lends itself to genius insights, but again, they are fleeting. So if you have good ideas this month, write them down, because you might think, wow, this is such a good idea, I'll never forget this, and you will. So it's just a time where lightning strike insights can come in amazing ways. Suddenness, sudden changes. But again, these are beautiful angles, so hopefully these changes will be good. Now, if you are within the 20-degree range, so we'll say 15 to 25 degrees, or birthdays like June 5th through June 15th, the closer to June 10th, the more you'll get the kiss from this new moon in Aquarius on February 9th and the days around then. Don't worry, you're not being left out of anything. If you're not in that zone, there's just extra manifestation potential for you at that time. Now let's talk about the next thing that's very exciting, which are these open stars. So just have a little discussion about open stars versus retrograde stars so that you can understand the context. If you've listened to my work for a while, you know this well. If you haven't, I'll introduce you to this topic. Personal planets, which are the ones closest to us, Venus, Mars, Mercury, can go retrograde. Retrograde is when it looks like in the orbit of the planet from our perspective on the Earth, that it's going backwards in its orbit, but it's not. But it brings this phenomena of things breaking down, communications breaking down, appliances and electronics breaking down, inward and backward, cloudy, difficult to schedule, confusing times where you can't see more than one step ahead of you. The direct times are not these times, and February is not that time. This time is direct stars. This is the time to put your boats afloat, to put your message in a bottle out to sea. It's representative of the astrological tides going out. And anything you want to travel far and wide, what you put out at this time has a chance to go further and wider. So you want to take advantage of this because we will have a very murky end of the year with Mars retrograde added to our, rhythm of Mercury retrogrades. And that's a long retrograde process. If you want my whole 2024 retrograde calendar that shows you the open stars versus the retrograde stars and helps you understand what to align with which period, and you want that ahead of time, go to anniehelpsyou.com, find my secret star portal, and in there are my written horoscopes, all kinds of other things, including my retrograde direct astrological tides calendar. But for our purposes here, I can give you the dates that are nearby here and that are relevant. January 21st through March 20th, we've got free from personal planet retrogrades and their shadow periods. Now, we've got another big thing to add to this. January 27th through May 2nd, we have outer planets being direct, not retrograde. This is, an unusual phenomenon. It happens within a rhythm, cyclically, but it's rare, that it happens as well. It's not the common thing. All of the outer planets, the ones further from us, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, will also all be going direct. So talk about forward movement and momentum and clarity and advancement and making up for a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. So the windows where those intersect are basically January 27th through March 20th. If you get it before the 27th, you don't have the power of the outer planets all going direct. If you get it after March 20th, you don't have the power of the inner planets. But it's just, it's good to note that you've got that window. And what is it good to do in those windows, or that window? Big commitments, engagements, weddings, big parties, travel, commitments, big purchases, big sales, anything having to do with education, starting new things, making big commitments, contracts, investing, estate planning, anything of consequence, making big moves, big commitments are much better supported at this time, because whatever the stars are doing at the time you do start something new, it has that imprint for the rest of the venture. So if you lock in these forward-moving stars, then whatever you're doing, you'll have this imprint of forward-moving energy for the whole life of the project or the experience. Okay, so this is exciting, it's rare, and itself can also add to the miracle breakthroughs. Even though all of the signs will be experiencing this, it does add to the level of just miracles, of things happening in a short amount of time in a surprising way. All right, now let's talk about the eclipses. We had a doozy of an eclipse set ending in the fall of 2023, or spring for you all down under. Now we're moving along with our next eclipse cycle. This eclipse cycle goes from February to May 2024. This is a season. The actual eclipses are as follows. Lunar eclipse, 5 degrees of Libra, March 25th. Solar eclipse, 19 degrees of Aries, April 8th. These, fortunately, are in nice angles for your Gemini placements. I can't speak to what every other placements you have, but certainly for Gemini, this cycle that started in early 2023 and goes to through early 2025 are in favorable angles for Gemini. The Aries angle makes the 60-degree angle of opportunity. The Libra angle makes the 120-degree perfect, most wonderful, positive angle in all of astrology. So that is helpful and wonderful. We love that. The me-we sectors, as I like to call them, Aries, me, Libra, we, are what are really getting charged up here. You may have noticed these storylines, your independence versus interdependence versus codependence versus, autonomy versus merging. All of these storylines are going to be continued. You can think back to 2013 to 2015 when this happened before. You can go further back to 2004 to 2006. Go further back to 1995 to 1997 if you were around then. And some of the things that have to do with you versus other people, those themes may come back. Big question everyone asks. If something bad happened then, is it going to happen again? Not necessarily, because all the things that were happening then are not necessarily all being recreated. We're just talking about one level of a storyline, which has to do with these eclipses. Now, everyone in the zodiac is having the me-we storyline from the Aries Libra, but Gemini is also adding to it from the house perspective. Houses are fields of experience we have as humans, and those areas of the chart that get lit up by the planets in the signs also have meaning that are specific to the sign. That's something that differentiates the monthly reports, from each other, from each sign. So this polarity of your passion, your voice versus a community or adding to a group, you as an individual, you as a group, your creation, you being part of a co-creation, all of these energies, you as a leader, you within an organization, friendships, social networking, your individual passions versus your helping the greater good. All of these are storylines that you will see starting to kick up in February. And of course, why are we talking about this in February if the eclipses aren't until March and April? Because the eclipse season starts 4 to 6 weeks or more before the first eclipse and drag out 4 to 6 weeks or more after the last eclipse. Imagine a pot of water. Water can also represent emotion, but it represents activity as well. So during the time of the off eclipse season, which we had a couple of months of here in December and January, it's on a very low flame. So things can manifest from this storyline that's in effect for a couple of years, but it's more in the backdrop, less drama, sort of just going on. Then in February, the heat gets turned up, so the manifestation level increases, starting to get little bubbles and some steam. Then in March and April, it's bubbling over and steaming all over the place. Manifestation, drama, energy, all of that. And then in May and the season here, it starts to cool down, but information can still come in. There's still a little intensity, and that will be what the cycle looks like. We'll talk about that more in March and April, but I wanted to give you a heads up about that now, since you're going to start to see these things coming up, at least in this time frame, and of course could be earlier as well. I'm going to give you a couple of dates to watch out for and a couple of yay dates, but I also want to point out that if you love to know the dates, you definitely want to go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, put your name and email address in there. That will link you to my free VIP community In the welcome letter, which you may find in spam instead of your inbox or in a social folder, you can get access to the archives to see all of my mini astrology education newsletters. Plus, monthly, you'll get all kinds of insights into how to use the current stars for your benefit. But I do a write-up, so you can look for February 2024 astrology. It will go out at the end of December, and that will give you more dates, the sweet and salty dates, the written write-up of the month, if you're interested in those kind of things. But I'll give you some more dates here. Watch out in the days around February 8th and the days around February 16th. We've got clashes with Uranus, with Mercury and the Sun, that can bring jostling news. This month is very electric, and these transits are extra electric. So just be very careful. On an energetic level, it can be jostling and bring like anxiety and erratic behavior from yourself or others. The transits will pass quickly in the few days of the effects, but you're probably going to have to breathe through these random and sudden upsets that may happen at this time. They could turn out to be good, like you get news and it jostles you, but then it like cracks you open to possibilities that you didn't have before, or changing, patterns. It could shock you out of a pattern. So it could be good in that way, but just be extra careful and awareful. I'm posting the yay lookout for the days around February 7th and the days around February 13th, as we have two nice aspects with Venus. Venus, our friend that rules love and beauty and finances and self-esteem and nurturing. So sudden sweet surprises in the days around the 7th, when we have a nice angle with Uranus in Taurus. And then in the days around 13th, if you're in the United States, those days around Valentine's Day are extra sweets, with a nice angle with Neptune. So dreamy, intuitive, romantic, artistic, really, really nice merging of surreal and real, the ethereal and the mundane. It's just a magical time. And it's a nice time for private personal pursuits too. It doesn't just have to be in combination with somebody else. Also, having a high emotional IQ at this time, just being nice, can bring really great rewards. If you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com to see all of the free ways I can help you with astrology, including my free VIP newsletter. If you are an astrology student, you can learn so much from my podcasts and my YouTube videos, and you can get additional learning throughout the month by being a part of my VIP community. You can check out my Secret Star Portal, which has that retrograde and direct planning astrological tides calendar, plus Jupiter in Taurus through the signs, Saturn in Pisces. It's a cornucopia of 18 months worth of archives and new content monthly there in the Secret Star Portal. If you want to learn on a deeper level, you can register for my Astrology Basics course, which teaches you how to read charts in 6 easy steps. If you want to go deeper and learn how to make money from astrology, or really help yourself and your friends and family with this amazing science and art, and develop your own art, then you'll love my astrology certification course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification Course. You can see all this at AnnieHelpsYou.com. That link is in the notes underneath the podcast or video. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.